I've heard a rumour, and I've been trying to get to the bottom of it all day, right? Now, there were whispers that public servants at the Department of Education were applying to work from home permanently, but instead of doing it from their kitchen table or their home office or whatever it was, they were working overseas, working from Europe as a public servant. Now, I put an official request in to the Department of Education, and thankfully they got back to us and they said, based on our records, no Department of Education employee is authorised to be working from or be based in Europe. Well done. Like many organisations across the country, though, following the pandemic, we've been working to get corporate staff back into our offices. And our policy is for corporate staff to come into the office at least one day a week, and many more are coming in more often. Well, it got us talking, right? Because I know that some private companies offer it to people. They say as part of your package, you can take 12 weeks where you can work from overseas for a European summer or whatever it may be. So is this a new thing? Have you encountered this? 131873. Are you telling your boss, hey, boss, I'm just going to head off to the Amalfi Coast and I'll be doing the tax accounts from the Amalfi Coast in June, July and August? Well, 131873, let us know if you know someone who's doing this, because it looks like it's becoming quite a thing. Now, Kim Seeling Smith is a future of work expert and she joins us on the line. G'day, Kim.
Hi, Chris.
So, working from overseas in an Australian-based job, does it really work?
Well, it depends. If you are actually doing work, then yes. I mean, this is the new way of the world, Chris, and it's been proven that we can do it post-COVID.
So, Kim, surely there are some ethics here, though. You have to tell your boss that you're working from overseas, or can you just do a little dodgy?
No, absolutely. You've got to tell your boss where you're working from. You know, it's not as simple as getting on a plane and your boss thinking that you're sitting at your home office or at your dining room table and you working from a beach in the Mediterranean. You've got to be up on the up and up. You've got to set agreements with what you're going to be achieving, how that success is measured. You've got to make sure that you are, accessible during the time zones that your colleagues, your coworkers, your boss, your clients may need you to be accessible. So while it sounds really glamorous, there are some challenges to overcome. But in this day and age, you can overcome those challenges. It is possible.
Are many people doing it?
Surprisingly, yes. Just in my Sydney-based clients alone, and I work across Australia, but just my Sydney-based clients alone, I can name, without even thinking about it, 4 clients that currently have people working from other companies doing Australian-based work for Australian-based clients.
What kind of countries?
Funnily enough, Europe seems to be really, really popular. I don't know if it's the, Northern Hemisphere. Well, they're in winter now. I don't know what it is, but Europe is really popular. But a lot of people, well, actually Europe and Vietnam. I've had 2 people that I know are working from Vietnam. One is Vietnamese and one just wanted to go to Vietnam. So it's in a wide array of countries, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that we were stuck here on this big island of ours for, a period of time. And a lot of us who are immigrants, like I am, as you can tell by my accent, a lot of us, want to spend time with our families. We want to reconnect with friends and family. And now that this world has opened up to us, that we did prove that it was possible to work from anywhere if you manage yourself and if you manage your output correctly. It is absolutely possible. It's becoming much, much more popular.
But does it have its downsides in the sense that it doesn't do much for team building or collegiate environments?
Yeah, that's old school thinking, Chris. Really is. I hear that a lot. Now, you're right. There are some very serious challenges that we have to think about to overcome. Like, how do you train and mentor the young people coming up? Back in the day, they used to look over more experienced people's shoulders and learn a lot by just sitting there, by sitting next to them and asking questions. And a lot of my clients, a lot of senior leaders are challenging this by saying, well, there is no substitute. There has to be a substitute because the balance of power has shifted. They, our individuals are demanding different things. We've proven that we can do it, and we need to get ourselves out of old school thinking to think differently about how we solve these challenges. And I'm a firm believer that if you want to work overseas, if you're working for me, I'm a manager, you want to work from overseas, great. I'm willing to work with you, but you've got to have skin in the game. You've got to help me overcome these challenges. So I want your ideas as to how you're going to serve our clients, how you're going to be there for our colleagues.
But Kim, it might be old school thinking, but I know myself. The best lessons I've learned are from the people sitting right next to me. And a mistake I was about to make, I didn't make because someone was sitting right next to me. You can't do that online.
Well, but can you? Is there a way? Is there a way that I know that there are companies that are doing it very, very successfully? Laminex Australia, for one, they're a case study in innovation. They decided to adopt a work from anywhere policy, and they mean anywhere in the world, in May of 2020. Now, they haven't gotten everything right, but they're working with the individuals and the teams to come up with new ways of thinking and new ways of solving these challenges. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that the companies, the managers who recognize that the world has changed and are out in front of this, instead of trying to pull everybody back to the office and pull everybody back home or back from home, those are the companies that are going to win the war for talent. And we've got too big a skill shortage just to think that we can go back to normal and be able to attract the people that we want to attract.
What about public servants, Kim? Do you think that if you're being paid by the public and by the taxpayer, you should be in the office, or should you be able to work from, I don't know, Mexico?
Well, it depends on, are you doing your job? Are you serving the public? If you truly are, and you're being honest and upfront about it, and you're kicking your goals, you're serving the public, you're doing what you were hired to do, does it really matter where you're doing it from? I would think not, as long as it's all about what are you hired to achieve, and are you kicking those goals?
Fair enough. Good on you, Kim. I appreciate it, and thank you for challenging my thinking on it because I'm a bit of an office lucky. Good on you.
Thanks, Chris.
131873. Would you take a job where you could work overseas but be based in Australia? So based in Europe but do an Australian job. 0460873873. All on the text line. These people working overseas will do themselves out of a job. Because why employ expensive, entitled Australians if they're working overseas? Very, very good point. It's offshoring in a very different way, isn't it? We'll get to all your feedback very shortly. It is 16 minutes to 4.